Good morning, friends. Today I came before you with the interesting topic that is forest conservation measures. Okay, so what are the programs, policies taken by the local government, the state government, the national and the international bodies to conserve the forest? So, along with the forest conservation measures, I am going to discuss the policies to combat the desertifications also. Okay. So, what are the policies to combat desertification? So, I start my discussion with the importance of the forest. Guys, we have much importance of the forest. Like, for example, it gives us the purifying air that we breathe, guys. So, we are making the respiration process effectively, that the air, that is oxygen, we are that is getting from the forest itself. Okay, so the many industries use the raw material for their final product. The raw material is obtaining from the forest. Okay, and the many development activities like the road construction, the railways, ports, all these are taking place by destructing the forest. So we have ample of advantages of the forest. But what's happening is deforestation is going on along with the forest growth. So what do you mean by deforestation? Deforestation is the nothing but indiscriminate falling of the uh, trees because of industrialization, urbanization, and the mining activities. So the whatever so it may be reason, the falling of the trees indiscriminately is known as deforestation. So recently, the in the Mumbai we have seen the because of the development of the metro shed, the forest of that area has been cleared. Okay, guys. So for the development process, they are clearing the forest. So for this to overcome, we should have some laws, policies, acts, and the conventions to protect our forest. So I start my discussion with the provisions in the constitution. So what are the provisions in the constitution we have to conserve the forest? If you see the article number 48A of the constitution, 48A of the constitution, guys. So in that we have clearly explained that protection and improvement. So along with the protection, there should be improvement of the environment and safeguarding the forest and the wildlife. So this provision has been included in the article 48A. So and after that, in the constitution itself, we can see the in the fundamental duties, that is article 51A, we have that it should means the so the articles in the 51A are, it shall be duty of the every citizen to protect and improve the natural forest, that is the environment, and have concern about the forest. Okay, forest, the rivers, the lakes, and the living creatures on the earth. So its provision has been mentioned in the fundamental duties. Okay, guys. So protection and improvement of the natural environment, like including forest, rivers, lakes, and have concerns towards them. So these two provisions we have in the constitution itself. So if anything is mentioned in the constitution means so much importance has given for the forest to conserve, guys. Okay. So after this, I will see few acts that India have enacted to conserve the forest. Like we have Indian Forest Act 1927. So Indian Forest Act 1927 says that so it bring the legal framework for the protection of the natural resources in the country, guys. So but it is the duty of the state to implement those legal framework. So this has been established in the Act Forest Act 1927, that is Indian Forest Act 1927. After that, we have Forest Conservation Act 1980. So Forest Conservation Act 1980 deals with the diversion of the forest land for the non-forest purposes. So if there is any requirement of the development, like I have explained in the Mumbai, that is for the development of the metro train shed. If any forest you have to convert for the non-forest purposes, so what are the policies, so what are the rules and regulations will be taken care by that act, guys. Okay, means that act have the provisions of related to the development activities. Okay, so it is the whole authority of the state government to regulate those activities, guys. Okay, and after that we have National Forest Policy 1988. So in the National Forest Policy 1988, it has mentioned that the joint forest management, guys. So joint forest management. Okay, so through the joint forest management, the development of the forest, that is the conservation, protection, and the development should be taken place. So it has emphasized more on the joint forest management. Okay, that is the National Forest Policy 1988. After that, we have the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, which is very, very important. So Wildlife Protection Act 1972 have the provisions like, so it will block the hunting and the collecting of the trees, plants, and the wildlife which are present in the protected areas. So it will take care of the things related to the protected areas, guys. So we have protected areas, the wildlife sanctuaries, the national forest, and the bird sanctuary, all those things. So this act prohibits the hunting and collecting of the forest, trees, plants, and the wildlife in that area. Okay, guys. So this is about the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, and so after that we have the Scheduled Tribes, Traditional and Forest Dealers Act 2006. Scheduled Tribes, Traditional and Forest Dealers Act 2006. So this act focuses on the provisions related to the people dependent on the forest and the reason. So guys, so few people depend upon the forest for their livelihood. So this act will provide security, or this act provides the conservation of the people's livelihood, guys. So in return, people will conserve the forest, or they will protect or safeguard the forest. So the provisions relating to this are mentioned in the Scheduled Tribe, Traditional and Forest Dealers Act 2006. So along with this the acts enacted by the state government, we have few programs, that is National Afforestation Program, guys. So National Afforestation Program will see the regeneration of the forest and the adjacent areas through people's participation. National Afforestation have the objectives of the regeneration of the forest, okay, in the degraded places and the adjacent places through the people's participation. Okay, so after this we have National Green Mission, guys. Okay, National Green Mission. So this Green Mission will see the ecological balance of the system, guys, and it will try to restore the service provided in the ecosystem. Okay, its main target is to balance the ecology, and it will see that services provided by the ecosystem should be restored. So these are the few laws and the policies that we have in the with respect to the state government. Right now I discussed two topics, that is the provisions related to the forest in the constitution. After that, what are the steps taken by the national government? Okay, so now we will see international conventions. So what are the international conventions to combat the or to conserve the forest? We have REDD+, REDD+. So the REDD+ stands for the reduction in the emission of the deforest and the forest degradation. So it provides the financial incentives, guys, for the reduction of the emissions. Guys, clear? It provides financial incentives for the reduction of the emission, and it also fosters the conservation, sustainable management of the carbon stock. So it deals with the carbon stock related issues also, guys. Okay, okay, clear? So after that, we have the convention, guys. United Nations Conference on Development, guys. So 1922, that is Rio de Janeiro summit. In that summit, we have three outcomes of the summit. That is the United Framework Convention to combat United Nations Convention to combat desertification, the United Nations United Nations Framework to combat to climate change, and we have Convention on the biological diversity. So we have three outcomes of the Rio de Janeiro 1992 conference. So first one, I deal with the United Nations Convention to combat the desertification, guys. So what are the provisions are there to combat the desertification? So in the topic itself, I explained that today's class is on the forest and the desertification. So what are the steps taken by the UNCCD to combat the desertification? So generally these have been implemented in the places which are having the drought, guys. For example, Africa. So Africa is having the drought-like conditions. So in that area, the nations will follow the strategy, guys. Okay, and the multi-pronged strategy to combat the desertification. So this will be implemented along with the partners of the along with the partner organizations and the important schemes and or important organizations. So this is about the United Nations Convention to combat desertification. And the one more, so I said that three outcomes. So one is UNCCD, the other is CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity. So Convention on Biological Diversity is informally called as the Biodiversity Conservation. So it is also the multi-pronged strategy. So it has three targets. The first one is conservation of the biological diversity. Conservation of the biological diversity. And the second one is the sustainable use of its components. So what are the components present that is around with related to the biodiversity? So sustainable use of the components are the sustainable use of the elements of the biodiversity. And the third one is equitable and fair sharing of resources of the genetic use. So what are the resources that we have provided from the biodiversity? So that is like the genetic resources that should be fairly and equitably distributed to the nations. Okay, these are the three goals of the UNCBD, United Nations Biological Diversity, guys. So and one more thing we have is UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention to combat climate change. So this is very important type, guys. UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention to combat climate change. So this will make to reduce the emission of the greenhouse gases and the things which make the harmful material present in the atmosphere and their interaction with the climate will be to not interact with each other, guys. So the main target of this framework is greenhouse gas reduction at a certain level. So the anthropogenic activities that will be taking place by the people will not have any effect with the atmosphere or with the climate, guys. Okay, if you have that atmosphere if they have any interaction of these activities with the climate, so these will form the greenhouse gases which will disturb our environment. Okay, guys. So these are the three outcomes of the United Nations Conference on the Development. So after this, we have one challenge. What is one challenge? One challenge is the global effort to bring the degraded and the deforested land into its natural habitat. Okay, it is a global effort to conserve the deforested and the degraded land into its natural habitat. So its target is to bring the 150 hectare millions, that is the 150 million hectares to the natural land by 2020, means so by this year. And the second target we are having 350 million hectares by the 2030, guys. So these are the provisions in the bond challenge. Okay, guys, clear? So after this we have like integrated watershed management program, guys. It is the central government scheme. Okay, so with this we have done with the international conventions or the laws with respect to the forest and the desertification. Okay, guys, and the few state initiatives with respect to the desertification, we have integrated watershed management program. So integrated watershed management program will be dealt by the Ministry of the Rural Development, guys. Okay, so the Ministry of the Rural Development, it is under the Department of the Land Resources. So what this will do is this will try to conserve the natural resources like the soil, the vegetation, the plants and the animals, which are degraded into its natural habitat. So this is the target of the integrated watershed management program. Okay, guys, and right now we came up the Ministry of Jal Shakti for the water conservation, and we have the Ministry of Ganga Rejuvenation and the Development. Okay, so we have many schemes, guys. So and the national scheme, so after this we have the national program to combat the desertification. So to combat the desertification, on line with the United Nations Framework Convention to combat the desertification, we have the national program to combat desertification. It was launched in 2001, guys. So to restore the land which was under the desertification into its natural habitat. So guys, these are the provisions we are having in our constitution of the national laws, international laws and the conventions. So if you take the examples of the Telangana state government, then we have the Haritam, like that is the scheme, guys. So every state is taking its conservation measures to protect the forest. Okay, so forests are the one which are very required for our livelihood in the future, guys. Because we get the things which we can't get from other places, guys. Okay, so forest in such a way helping us in many ways, guys. Okay, with this I am completing the topic, guys, that is the conservation measures of the forest and the policies to combat the desertification. Okay, guys, clear? Guys, after this I am planning to start the new course, that is polity. So I request everyone to attend the classes regularly, such that the continuously can't be miss and you will be updated your information, guys. So thank you one and all.